Unit 3, Lesson 6. Today we'll be solving equations that involve the distributive property and collecting like terms. Our objective for today, as always, is the big emphasis on this word right here. Show your work. Alright, we want to show the work necessary to solve an equation. Okay, as we saw before in the last video, before moving on to solving, we have this idea that we have to simplify anything first. Okay, and then the 4 steps of solving are still the same. Ask what is being done to the variable, do the opposite operation, do the same to the other side, and solve. And as always, when you're working with an equation, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the same exact thing to the other side. Okay, none of that has changed. Alright, so, what is different? Why do we have a different video? Alright, example 1. Normally we start with looking at a variable and say, okay, what's going on? What's happening to this variable? But you'll notice on the left-hand side, I have 2 variables. Okay, that's a problem. So what we're going to do first, in this case, is we're going to collect our like terms. So 3x minus 2x is x. So I have x plus 5 is equal to 9. Okay, so I'm going to have you write something up here. Alright, and it's the same thing you wrote before, and that is simplifying means distribute or collect like terms, or it could be both, alright, depending on the problem. So in terms of simplifying, that's what we should be doing. Alright, now from here we could solve. I'm going to subtract 5 from each side. This is just a one-step equation. We end up with x being equal to 4. Now, checking your work. Alright, on the last quiz you guys took, a lot of you did this and it really helped out. Alright, some of you didn't and you would have caught some mistakes. So let's make sure we know how to check our work. I have 2 x's in the problem. So that means I have to do 3 times 4 plus 5 minus 2 times 4. Okay, so I have to fill in both of these x's, this one right here, as well as this one right here, with my answer. Okay, so let's go back. Alright, this is going to be 12. 12 plus 5, and this is minus 8. Alright, 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. 9 is equal to 9. Alright, so these are equal. I know this is the right answer. Okay, check your work. It's so easy to do. And again, your calculator can help you with this work too. Alright, let's move on to B. This time, my variable is on the right-hand side. Okay, and again, I have like terms that I have to collect. So I look at these two. 7x minus 9x is negative 2x. Minus 4, that hasn't changed. And over on this side of the equal sign, my minus or negative 12 drops down. Now we have a 2-step equation. X is first being multiplied by negative 2, and we are subtracting 4. So the opposite would be to add 4 and then divide by negative 2. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And again, whatever I do to one side, I do the exact same thing to the other. I end up with negative 2x over here equal to negative 8. Divide by negative 2. And x is equal to 4. Once again, we're going to check our answer. I'm going to plug 4 in for both of my x's. Alright, so I have 7 times 4 minus 9 times 4. That's 28 minus 4 minus 27. No, sorry, 36. What am I thinking here? Alright, this is going to be a positive 24. And this is going to get me to negative 12. Negative 12 here, negative 12 here. This is the correct answer. Alright, example C, the last one, looks a little bit different than the previous ones. Ooh, what happened there? Let me erase that line. Alright. There's that dead spot on my board. It keeps doing that. Alright, anyways, you'll notice here we have 3 like terms. Still done the same way. 5 plus, don't forget that there is an invisible 1 here. 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 minus 3 is 3. So I have 3y is equal to negative 21. Divide by 3, and we end up with y being equal to negative 7. Now I have 3 y's to plug that thing into when I go to check. So I have 5 times 7 plus, wait, that's a negative 7, sorry. See if I can see that. Plus negative 7 minus 3 times negative 7. I may be off your board right here, but that's a negative 7. So I have negative 35 minus 7 minus 21. And something doesn't look right here. Oh, right here. A negative times a negative is a positive. Trying to squeeze it in there. I missed that negative sign on that 7. Okay, now let's move on from there. Alright, this is negative 42 plus 21. Negative 42 plus 21 is negative 21. It checks. I know I did that one right. There we go. Okay, last set of examples down here. You'll notice now we have parentheses in the problem. And like we said yesterday, if we have parentheses in the problem, the first thing we want to do is distribute. Okay? So in distributing, I end up with 6x minus 72. None of the other stuff is going to change. So negative 4x is equal to negative 4. I'm just dropping that down. Now we move into what we were doing today, which is collecting like terms. So that's 2x minus 72 is equal to negative 4. Then, at this point, we can solve. Because I have an x by itself, the left side, this is not the straightest of lines, the left side is simplified, the right side is simplified. Now I can start solving for x. So I'm going to move the 72 first. And we end up with 2x being equal to 68. Divide by 2, and x is equal to 34. Okay, so again, distributive property, collect like terms, solve. However many steps that takes. Alright, let's check our answer. I'm going to plug in my 34. I'm going to put it here and here. Save a little bit of space here. Alright. Do that subtraction. It's going to be 22. Alright, 22 times 6 is going to be 132. Minus 4 times 34 is going to be, let's see, that'll be 16 carried a 1 over, 136. Subtract that, you get negative 4. It checks out. We have a winner. Alright, let's see another example. Alright, once again, first thing to do, distribute. Be careful with that negative. This is negative 2y minus 8 plus 12. Again, notice the plus 12 doesn't change. Up next, let's collect our like terms. I have a negative 8 and a positive 12. Those are both constants, and all constants are like terms, so that's a 4. And then here's my negative 2y and 4. And now I get to solve. So I'm going to subtract my 4 from both sides. That's 0. I get negative 2y. Over here I have 0. Divide by negative 2 here. And divide by negative 2 here. And I have y equals 0. Check my work. I only have one y in this problem, so I plug it in there. That's going to be a 0 plus 4 is 4. Times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 12 is 4. I know I'm good. Okay, last problem. Alright, so like we've seen in the previous two examples, we're going to begin with our distributive property. Negative times negative is positive, so it's 4x. Another negative times another negative is positive once again. This thing is goofy now. Alright, and that's going to be 48. That is a plus sign right there. Minus 60x. Or 6x. We're going to collect our like terms next. I have 4 minus 6x. That's going to be negative 2x. And again, that was a plus 48. Is equal to negative 4. Subtract my 48. And I end up with negative 2x being equal to negative 52. Divide by negative 2, and x is going to be equal to 26. Alright, I'm not sure if that's on your screen, so I'm going to write it one more time. X equals 26. Make sure you have all of this work. Alright, and you can check that answer on your own, and we'll find out tomorrow if that's the right answer or not. Alright, make sure, again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask or come in during 1C time to get help.